Hello everyone, so since you guys really enjoyed my last video when I was criticizing Farhat Hussein back training, where I found a lot of mistakes when it comes to anatomy and biomechanics, I figured out why don't I show you my back routine and why I don't explain to you my philosophy when it comes to back training. So I'm gonna tell you from the beginning, my back genetics in my opinion are not good at all. Back in the days when I started competing, I think this was one of the most things I heard from judges. Raz, you need more back. It really took me a long time and I had to put a lot of work, a lot of thinking, a lot of planning. I had to dig really deep in order to improve my mind-muscle connection in order for my back to respond. So because of that and because I was at a disadvantage, I think I have some pretty good information which can help you if you are in the same situation. Let's do this. Alright, so we are kicking off today's back session with a strategic superset. Pullovers paired with reverse hyperextensions. This isn't just warm-up fluff, this combo is surgical. So pullovers help me lock in lat activation early, stretching and engaging the muscle fibers that will carry the load later. Here, it's about precision, not ego. I'm choosing a weight which is really gonna help me keep my lats engaged, sharpen the mind-muscle connection, and push some blood into the lats. Believe it or not, this right here makes such a big difference for me, because genetically, if my back is weak and the mind-muscle connection is not that sharp, I have to do everything possible to wake up the muscle the right way, otherwise the stress will be diverted in another place. Also, if you look closely, I'm keeping my feet up on the bench, not randomly, but at an angle that stabilizes my body while actively engaging the hamstrings. That subtle tweak isn't just for comfort, it's actually deliberate. It wakes up my posterior chain and gets those hamstrings firing before I hit the heavy stuff. Then I hit the reverse hypers. These also fire up the lower posterior chain, like glutes, hamstrings, and the often neglected lower back. So now if you're asking yourself, why this pairing? Well, it's simply because I don't want to walk into heavy rows, quote unquote cold. I prime the system. I want everything from the scapula to the hips to be ready to move the weight with purpose. So guys, this superset isn't flashy, but for me it's foundational. And if you're serious about building a bulletproof back, you should definitely give this a try, because it really made a big difference for me and for my progress. So since I don't consider the previous superset a main exercise, here is my first exercise, bent over barbell rows. When I look back at what truly transformed my physique and elevated my overall strength, the bent over barbell rows stands out as the bread and butter. And for me in particular, it was a test of patience, precision, and persistence. Progressing in this lift was anything but easy. At first I struggled with form, stability, and the sheer coordination it demanded. Unlike machines or isolation movements, the bent over row forces you to engage your entire posterior chain, lats, traps, rhomboids, spinal erectors, hamstrings, glutes, core, and so on. But once I dialed in my technique and started building strength, the results were undeniable. My back began to thicken, I noticed more details, my posture improved, and I actually noticed a ripple effect in other lifts. So in my opinion, this exercise doesn't just build muscle, it builds functionality. It mimics real-world pulling movements, enhances grip strength, and teaches you proper hip hinging. The core engagement required to stabilize your torso translates into better control and injury prevention across your entire training regimen. And I'm pretty sure lots of you guys know that Ronnie Coleman and Dorian Yates, who had one of the most impressive backs in bodybuilding, incorporated bend over rows into their brutal back sessions. So guys, in my opinion, if you're serious about building a back that's not just wide, but dense and powerful, the bent over barbell row isn't optional, it's essential. It's the kind of lift that demands respect, rewards consistency, and builds a physique that speaks for itself. And let's not forget, the competitions are won from the back. Next up, neutral grip weighted pull-ups. I'm using a neutral grip here because it puts the shoulders in a safer, more natural position, especially when loading up with extra weight. It lets me drive deeper lat engagement without compromising joint integrity. But here's the catch. If you're not locked in mentally, your arms will hijack the movement. That's why I'm hyper-focused on my muscle connection. I visualize my lats initiating the pull, not my biceps. Every rep starts from a dead hang, no momentum, no ego. I'm focusing on scapular depression, full range of motion, and a clean contraction, a proper max contraction at the top. In my opinion, it builds that wide, sweeping lat look from the bottom up, exactly what bodybuilders need to carve out when it comes to that V-taper. The added load isn't just for show, it's progressive overload with purpose, because I want to build density, not just definition. And because the neutral grip allows for deeper range and better shoulder alignment, it's a safer way to push intensity without sacrificing longevity. So guys, if you're skipping weighted pull-ups or letting your arms take over, you're leaving growth on the table. This is how you build a back that looks powerful from every angle. Next exercise, machine close grip low row. For me, this is one of the most underrated tools for building back depth and thickness. But here's the key. It's not just about pulling weight, it's about how you move. I'm keeping the grip tight and low, just under the belly button. That angle isn't random. In my opinion, it shifts the emphasis towards the lower lat fibers, helping carve out that deep V-taper from the bottom up. And if you're lean enough, it will definitely enhance the Christmas tree. But guys, posture is everything here. Chest up, spine neutral, and no rounding. And yes, I want the scapula to move freely. Protract on the stretch, retract on the pull. That scapular rhythm is what keeps the traps and rhomboids in play while letting the lats dominate the contraction. And of course, as with every single exercise, range of motion matters. I'm pulling all the way in, squeezing hard and controlling the eccentric. And that squeeze at the end, that's where the growth lives. And I also want to talk about injury prevention because in the beginning, I actually hurt my back while doing this exercise because someone taught me the wrong things. So sloppy rows wreck shoulders and lower backs. Don't do that. But when you lock in the posture, control the tempo and respect the biomechanics, this becomes one of the safest and most effective ways to build back thickness. For bodybuilders, this movement is gold and reinforces that dense three-dimensional look that pops on stage and on camera. But if you're just yanking the handle, you're wasting reps. Please don't do that. However, if you treat this like a precision lift, it will reshape your entire posterior chain. Next exercise is also one of my favorite, diverging lat pull downs. You know, it's one of those exercises that just feels right, especially when you're chasing both symmetry and strength. What makes this stand out is the way it allows each side of your body to pull independently, which in my opinion is a game changer for anyone serious about building a balanced physique. Unlike traditional lat pull downs where both arms move together, the diverging version forces each lat to work on its own, exposing any strength imbalances and helping correct it over time. So guys, this is not just good training, it's smart training. From a biomechanical standpoint, the diverging motion mimics the natural arc of your arms follow when pulling, which means you get a deeper stretch at the top and a more complete contraction at the bottom. It's actually also easier on the shoulders, which is a blessing if you ever dealt with joint pain or tightness from heavy compound lifts. Now, if you're into bodybuilding, this exercise becomes even more essential. Bodybuilding isn't just about heavy lifting as we all know, it's about sculpting the body. And sculpting requires precision. The diverging lat pull down gives you that precision by letting you isolate each lat, ensuring both sides developed evenly. And yes, that's crucial when you're chasing that V-taper look where the lats flare wide and the waist stays tight. Uneven development can throw off your entire silhouette on the stage or in the photos, and this exercise helps prevent that. Plus, because you can control the tempo and the range of motion so well, it's perfect for hypertrophy. So yeah guys, it's not just a good exercise, it's a smart and strategic one. And the last exercise, lower back hyperextensions. This is a must if you want a strong, stable spine and a powerful posterior chain. Start with your hands across your chest. This is the easiest variation, keeping your center of gravity close. Then move the hands at your temples, which shifts weight forward and increases the challenge. Finally, raise your arms straight above your head, as this creates the longest lever and demands the most of your lower back and core. I see a lot of people skipping this move, and it's a mistake. It helps prevent injury, corrects muscular imbalances, and counters the effects of sitting all day. Do not overlook it. Your back will thank you and your lifts will show it. I know this video doesn't have any crazy edits or special effects like other influencers have, but bear in mind that this is a one-man show. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and you got some good value out of it. As always, like, share and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Ciao ciao.